Voyager, and last I left off, I've been doing some touch-ups just around a few little places that I missed, and I started putting the decals on. So I got most of the bottom done. A few little more I got to do, and don't want to bore everyone, but little tiny decals that I'm putting on. Once I get them on, then I'll flip it over, and we'll start doing the top. But anyway, I sprayed it all with Future, and I didn't put it on real heavy, and I had to go back in, and one of my new favorite type of gloss is the Vallejo one. It really makes a nice shiny surface, and you don't really have to spray the entire model. You just do the section that you need to, put the decal on, and it works. Anyway, I really am a big fan of the Vallejo's gloss varnish there. But anyway, decal starting, not to bore everyone, so hopefully we'll get all that. I gotta just touch up a few little areas, especially around the blue and then some of the phaser banks, but I believe I got everything painted, and if I missed one, hopefully I didn't, but if I did, we're gonna go with it. Anyway, decal duty is starting on Voyager. The trifugal, I had to not touch it for a couple of days because I was putting together the fuselage here, and I had a hell of a time getting it together, and like most people, the cockpit tub kept wanting to bind it, and I think it's the gun bays in here. So I finally got it to fit, and I had to clamp it down and get everything in, but when I did, I didn't know this. I had the pole pretty much centered, but when you put the cockpit tub in, it actually had an angle. So this was basically kind of like that. So I had to go back in and kind of break the brass rod that I had in, break it down to get it centered, and shove some styrene in there, which I gotta fix it because it's pretty straight. I mean, you're gonna have a little bit here and there. Now there is a gap, and one thing I did do on the I didn't take into the account when I was putting it together the heads of the zip ties that I did, which made it a little bit. But anyway, I didn't want it to bind, and what I'm going to do is, if you can look real closely at the kit here, it's all rivets, and I had to, when I got the motor in, I had to get it clamped down and got it sanded out. And if you notice, you lose some of the detail. Now they make a rivet tool that you could put. I'm going to do some of the rivets, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some styrene strip on here in places. We're going to make a little armored version of this just to hide a few things, and I also want to hide the gap just a little bit. I don't want it to be binding when it rotates, and just to I'm going to extend it just a tad just to make it look you know, a little more armored version. But anyway, got the cockpit on. I got it pretty much sanded to go back in with a little more I call it plastic putty. The styrene, melted styrene, got that in there, and I'll try to get that sanded down. But anyway, I had to fight that, and then I had to just walk away because we don't like to get mad at model kits because they have a tendency to fly when you get mad at it. But anyway, hopefully I get a little more done this weekend on it, because I want to get the wings done, and so I can see what it looks like spinning. But anyway, that is where I am on the trifugal. And up next for the Build for Others, we are going to do some more RC cars. We're going to paint this. Actually, I got two of them, and I'll show the other one in probably the next video or two. We're going to make Mad Max police cars, and they're basically blue and yellow. And I got to do all the prep work here. That's this thing had stickers on it. I had to rip all of them off, and then I got to go back in and start masking all the windows and everything off so we can paint it. Basically, I want to paint them blue, and then go back in and paint the yellow on. And I'll try to show some reference pictures on that once we get a little farther ahead. But anyway, that's on the do. But I have to give my disclaimer. RC cars, I do paint them. I paint a static model, which means, you know, I paint look pretty on the table, shelf, or wherever. So when this thing starts being used RC and jumps like Duke's Hazard and scrapes, I can't help that if the paint don't hold up. I mean, it's just the way it is. And I got to point out, this one's already been used with the missing piece there, and if you can see the scratches, and but anyway, that's just nature of RC cars when they're used. But again, my disclaimer on I make static models, so if it gets scratched, I can't help it. But anyway, we're gonna do that. We're gonna start that this week, so looking forward to that. And they're very, very different. So, and we're gonna add some light bars and not JT graphics, JBot decals will be going on this, so that's going to be very fun to do. But anyway, that's where I am on the Mad Max cop cars. And of course, I was getting mad at the trifugal, so I decided to I found me another scaled helmet, and I like to paint stuff like this. I think it's I call them one day builds. Adam Savage, he has his, I have mine, and I made this. I'm going to make this one into a 501st, and someone painted it all psychedelic, multicolored, and you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to have fun with these vinyl helmets. I like to repaint them and make certain troopers out of it. But anyway, that's something I do on the side. But anyway, that's what I got going on today. Hopefully it's supposed to be cooler, so I may do a shed up there. I haven't really decided on that quite yet, but anyway, we'll try to do that. Trifugal, trying to get back on there, trying not to get mad at it, because we're at that stage where we want to continue on, but we're getting mad at it. Mad Max police cars, getting ready to start that, and Voyager is getting its decals. So that's what we got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.